So education outreach materials. You have your BMPs are listed in the manuals, the stormwater manuals, and they have virtually very few drawings. Some have drawings, but they're very dry. Okay, so there's sources of outreach materials from phase 1 programs, phase 2 programs, the pollution prevention program, and other programs across the country. And they've developed very user-friendly materials that are more, they have graphics, they're more simple, easily explained, some are in multiple languages. We'll talk a little more about that, rather than giving them the BMP sheet. King County's pollution prevention manual is pretty good. So if you don't find some sort of outreach material, they're pretty good.
They also have one that's specific to restaurants, which is nice. So some of them are more business sector focused. So
At the King County,
yeah, at the
yes,
King County,
King County pollution prevention manual is a good resource too. So what's available to you is the source control online resource library, as Rebecca talked before. It's organized by these general practices that most sites utilize or that's going on, and then you can download those materials and use them. Most of them you can't change the municipality or anything, but you could always just let people know, hey, just look at the graphics and the words and ignore that this is from Clark County. So it's an excellent piece of material. The other thing we did, as Rebecca talked about, it's by sector. So if you're doing all restaurants, go to that restaurants one and you'll see a lot there.
If there's outreach material on there and it's from another jurisdiction, if it's on there, it's been given permission to print and be like, hey, I know it says this, but that's fine to do, or should we follow up with that jurisdiction?
That's correct. You can utilize it as is, or you can get if you actually want to print it and everything, you could get the graphics and everything from that jurisdiction.
I have a generic question for you, Mindy, and
Yeah.
the rest of the room. Is there a level of readability that's been agreed upon? Like I know in having worked with PR folks and things like that, it's really easy for us to get lost in our own jargon and technical information. Is there a readability level that you're suggesting materials or recommending that materials be in?
It's not something we've consciously measured. We've tried real hard to pick materials that seem to resonate with that audience, and some of these materials have been tested on those audiences. So those materials are also there, and I can point out some of those. But we have not measured readability. But working hard for these to be readable.
It's a task.
So yeah, we worked on some new materials and we ran them across the technical advisory committee, and there was all kinds of opinions of what words should be there and what words shouldn't be there. So it's hurting cats.
And the state does have accessibility standards that we have to abide by, so we're happy to pass that along. Well, I believe like the reading level is typically grade 8. And there are other things as well for accessibility, as far as like font sizes, font types, for like dyslexia, things like that. Color blindness, always have to talk about that.
That would be a great resource that WSU may want to consider adding that Title 6. Yeah. Great, thank you. So this is that brochure that we created, that letter, that introduction letter from Snohomish County. We want to partner with you. What will happen if problems are found? How to reduce water pollution from your business, or your postcard in the back. Really good materials with graphics, simple, where does stormwater go?
And that one, I believe that was the brochure, but they also have a postcard as well. So
They also have a postcard. So there's different types of materials. So brochures, wrap cards, they're these cards that are thicker. People tend to really like to hang on to them. Posters, booklets, flyers, letter templates, stickers. People have started using stickers for mop water to put on the mop sinks where mop water goes, and for dumpsters. There's a whole program about stickers going on dumpsters to close the lid. Web pages, I thought this was really cool, Clark County. It's now, instead of $50 a catch basin for cleaning, this is on their business site. Clark County's business prevention site. It is $65 now, but I think that's a screaming deal. So they got together with providers and said, if you go through this program, you can get a pretty good deal on getting your system. I thought that was really creative. So what is effective is, we talked about plain speak, no acronyms, clear graphics, drawings. People love when this was tested on the audiences, employees, restaurant employees, and also auto shop employees. They love those do's and don'ts. This, don't do that. With the green check mark and the red X. Multilingual is really important. I'll talk a little bit more about that, and that they're audience tested. They've seen them and they'll look at it and say, I have no idea what you're talking about, or I really get this. Yeah, okay. So we have, not we, on the resource, the guidance manual resource, there's so much out there. Spill plan templates and in multiple languages. English, Cambodian, Chinese, Korean, Somali, Spanish, and Vietnamese. Talking about other languages, there will be a case study about that, and so I won't go into that a whole bunch. People love contractor lists for system cleaning, fog, even septic systems. And they love it if you give them storm drain markers or connect them with a troop or a group of some sort who will come and mark their storm drains or stencil them. So these are new resources developed for this project. We work with the TAC and Storm, and we also, we said, what do you think? What needs, where do you need materials? We have some funding. And they clearly said restaurants, auto, and secondary containment. And so that's what, these are available on the site right now in English. Full page sheet for business owners, a little more technical, a lot more text in this one. These half sheets are more simple for auto wrecking, auto body repair, auto shops, for employee education is something to consider. So these are available to you and produced by a large group of people talking about what should the language be. And then those resources will work very nicely with these employee posters. And this whole concept was tested, and so they do resonate. This would be a great thing. You can get these, print them off, laminate them, and then ask, hey, what do you think? Do you want to, it might be a good idea to post this in on your safety bulletin board or your employee bulletin board. Restaurants, a more technical, not technical, more wordy restaurant, full sheet for the manager or owner. And then one specifically about cleaning hood filters, ducts, and fans. It's just such a big issue. And I think you talked about, you walked through it with the manager and said, hey, and don't forget, if you hire a contractor, they have to follow these rules too. It's very clear. It's in writing. You've given it to them, you've circled it. And you can use that with the restaurant poster for employees. So you got kind of a 1-2 punch for restaurants. Secondary containment. Wow, there was nothing out there for secondary containment, and you're going to see a lot of folks who need secondary containment. And so this goes over what it is, why you need it, and it has the rule, the 110 and 10 rule. That's what I call it, and the different types of containment. So I think that will be very helpful out there. So the business letter templates, the introduction we talked about, we also have a template. There's a template on the site for in compliance and action required, and you can just fill it in. Also, on the inspection form, there's actions listed in there, and those actions, to make it real clear when you're dealing with working with a business site owner where English is their second language. And to make it really clear, those actions, the whole list of actions, just an example, are translated into Vietnamese, traditional Chinese, and Spanish for now. I also, for other languages, Clark County has some really good RAT cards and how to clean up a spill in English, Russian, and Spanish, I think. So if you're looking for Russian out there, Clark County has some of them.
So there's a spill kit poster in Russian.
Spill
as
kit
well.
poster, how to clean up a spill. Great poster for employee education.
All right, yeah, we just had a couple wrap-up slides just on additional resources. There were some questions about kind of a training plan for inspectors, and so we have a list of different types of trainings here. I'll also pass around this example here, example training plan. I believe this is from City of Tacoma, so there's a lot of different trainings on there, but just getting a better sense of what some other supplemental trainings might be in terms of communication, safety, or education. Since there'll be other things you'll be encountering out in the field. Also wanted to mention, this came up a couple times today, but just mentorship opportunities, coordinating with other jurisdictions. Phase ones, you could reach out to them and ask to do a ride along, just get an example of what they're doing for their programs, how they approach certain issues. ECOS right now has a spill kit program, but I think that's sunsetting pretty soon. I think of June of this year. So if you want spill kit resources, definitely reach out to ECOS before that program closes. I think it's mainly King County area for that. Also wanted to mention there's voucher incentive programs, at least through King County. So that's one you can look at. So if businesses need to do some sort of improvement, they can receive up to $599 through that program for hazardous waste improvements. And there may be others in your jurisdiction as well. So we talked about incentives earlier, how can we incentivize businesses to want to participate in these inspections? And I think, providing resources and benefits to them may be useful for that. And I think PPA was also mentioned at one of our trainings that they also have a budget for secondary containment and spill kits. So if you have PPA in your area, reach out to those inspectors if you've got businesses that need some help. So with that, yeah, I think we're at our last slide. We've got the evaluation form coming around. I'll empty out that box with the clipboards in if you want to throw that in there. Any papers you want to leave here to recycle, do that. Take whatever you want with you. There's lots of resources posted online. The slides are posted online and will be shared after this training as well. And if you have any other questions for Mindy or I, feel free to ask us.
Somewhere around tomorrow.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.